Ladies and gentlemen, I am your commentator for this evening, Mark Spencer, and welcome to Super Pro 5. We kick off this evening with a Super Pro Aztec Royale. And if you are wondering what the distinction is between an Aztec Royale and a Battle Royale, in an Aztec Royale, you must be pinned to be eliminated. Let's go to the ring now. Now, we don't know who will be in this match, so expect some surprises. And as I say that, here he comes, the newly crowned Super Pro Middleweight Champion of the World, Hiro Ramirez.
The following contest is an elimination match. Making his way to the ring from Guadalajara, Mexico, weighing in at 190 pounds, the Super Pro Middleweight Champion, Hiro Ramirez.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to present this show to you live from the historic Arena, Mexico in Mexico City. Super Pro has not been in this arena since 2005. And it is one hell of a homecoming to return to a proper, sold-out crowd. Over 15,000. Now, Aztec Royale rules, all men will start the match at the same time. This is not a staggered entry. So Hiro's gonna have a minute to wait as 7 more competitors make their way down to the ring. Who could this be but none other than the legend, Clásico.
235 pounds, Clarence O.
We have a weird announcer. Sometimes she just can't say words. Now, fans of Lucha Libre might remember Clásico from his feud with Alberto Ramirez Jr. in the mid-90s, CMLL and AAA. He is still kicking to this day. One of the last of a generation. And we are excited to bring him back to Super Pro here for this monumental 5th event of its current iteration. In this match, we might see quite a few unfamiliar faces. Well, somebody likes that music. And it's our very own throwback. It's Tiburón Negro 2.
And from Mexico, weighing in at 231 pounds, Black Shark.
These two men have never interacted, as far as my knowledge is concerned. But you can immediately see a respect and a fealty to condition and tradition. Forgive me, Classico's Jim Halpert moment towards the camera there threw me off.
His name is Ultimo Extremo.
Part of this new hybrid generation of luchadores. A man who can do everything. Catch wrestle. Power. Speed. Classic lucha libre. But you will find that Extremo is most at home using those long legs of his for offense. A head kick that can be heard all around the world. We have our second debut of the night. Of course, you would remember that Tibero Negro Dos challenged for the Cruiserweight title against Suarez Jr. Came up short in that contest, and this is the first we've seen of him since. Well, there are no titles on the line for this match, and it is not a ranked match. Coming out as the winner in an Aztec Royale is something considered a badge of honor, even among the most brash and rebellious. It's considered a badge of honor, even among gringos who don't know
from Boston, Massachusetts, weighing in at
anything about
200
tradition.
pounds,
Even Buzz Brad.
MURADO.
Even Buzz Brad knows the significance of an Aztec Royale. Of course, Braddock, very well liked for a foreigner here in Super Pro, although Super Pro is no stranger in this new iteration to welcoming foreigners with open arms. Seeing a lot of our champions, a lot of our challengers, all hailing from all parts of the globe. We've got just about everything except for an Antarctica. In fact, our main event of this evening will be contested between two foreigners, an Australian and an export from Wildfire Pro Wrestling's dojo, Yamashita. But more on that later, as we await our fifth entrant? Sixth entrant? I don't know. There's a lot of them. It's hard to keep track. And speaking of Wildfire Pro Wrestling exports, Orochi is here. A man who holds a recent victory over Yamashita in Japan. Yamashita, of course, is about to compete for the heavyweight title in Super Pro. And you've got to imagine that Orochi thinks, hey, if he can be successful here, maybe I can be successful here. Although, to my knowledge, Orochi has not been offered a full-time contract with Super Pro. Perhaps a powerful enough performance here, with enough support from the fans, he can change some minds and find himself on the roster, competing for that middleweight title, currently held by Hiro Ramirez, our first entrant into this match. I believe that's 7. the good luck following up this entrance. Now, man coming out tonight. Steely blue eyes. The power to summon the storm is the storm. La Tempestad has not had the most success.
From Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 261 pounds, Storm.
He has not had the most success in the heavyweight division. He's possibly seeking to gain a bit of a turnaround. In fact, you could argue the same for both Thibault and Braddock as well. Perhaps this is an opportunity for reinvention, reinvigoration, etc. etc. Trademark hood, La Tempestad, obscuring the intentions behind those eyes. And now, I believe we await our 8th and final competitor. And we will have to see who it is. We've seen some big names show up so far. Wait a minute, no. It can't be. He booked himself.
Yeah, I just wanna be
What a maniac.
Everybody knows my name, shit. I'ma have this whole fucking game list, spitting with the same wit. And I'm gonna be famous. Ain't nobody able to delay this. Coming up out of vision to make it. Never wanted to be nothing, always wanted to play.
Hal Stevens, also known as El Pistolero, making his way to the ring. For those of you who've been living under a rock, this man is part owner and current president and CEO of Super Pro Championship Wrestling. This guy who arguably had every reason in the world to let Super Pro go under, brought it back from the edge of perdition. And he didn't put himself in a title match, he didn't put himself in a blood feud. No, instead, he puts himself in an Aztec Royale, and you can see that there's chaos about to come forth. See, immediately his hero dumps Braddock, or attempts to dump Braddock outside the ring. It doesn't quite work out for him, as El Pistolero goes after La Tempestad, Tiburon, following Orochi outside. And a powerbomb by La Tempestad. It looks like he's going for another one. For the interest of the audience, I will be trying to keep my eyes fixed on what's going on in the ring as much as possible, as that is the only place where a pinfall can happen. Speaking of which, attempted pinfall by Hero Ramirez. It's a 1 count before Classico kicks out. Lariato by Pistolero onto La Tempestad. You gotta wonder, some of these guys, some of these less fortunate guys may be looking to impress the boss the old-fashioned way by punching him in the mouth. We'll have to see how that plays out. Now, all the men are on the outside of the ring. And as I say that, Braddock rolls Ultimo Extremo into the center. And attacking him, trying to keep him grounded. Ultimo with the deflect, goes for the running strike. This is it. Roundhouse kick to the chest, execution style. And now Orochi rolling Tiburon Negro Jr., Tiburon Negro Dos, pardon me, into the ring. Spinning side kick, front headlock, round kick to the back of Braddock by Ultimo Extremo. Now, honestly, some of these guys probably thinking, as long as I'm not the first one eliminated. Because that'd probably be the worst, wouldn't it? It might be worse than any other thing. It might be more scary to be the first man eliminated than it is tempting to win the whole damn thing. Should not be surprised if it takes a minute for these guys to succumb to one another. Although Braddock and Extremo on each other like glue here, continuing their battle in the middle of the ring. Braddock hits him with a fantastic standing dropkick, only gets a 1 count though. Sweeps the leg. All the men gathering in that corner right by our Spanish announce desk. That's right, I am up in the bird's nest because I'm not insane. Orochi rolls left up a stat into the ring. Oh, big super kick by Ultimo Extremo there. So he's going for something on Braddock. We'll see if he gets the hit. And there it is, the Destino Extremo. And as he hits that not to be outdone, Pistolero, it's the Northern Lights brainbuster combo onto Tibble Negro Jr. The man has won.
A competitor has been
Braddock has been eliminated by Orochi. And I believe I missed it, but I think Orochi took advantage of Extremo hitting his finisher. The Negro looking for that cover on Pistolero. Pistolero, of course, currently 3-0 in the Supremacy Cup over in CWL. Our Hawaiian, I wouldn't call them cousins, but, you know, friend of a friend. You know. But deep waters there. Tibro Negro eliminates President CEO Pistolero from the match. Pistolero hanging on just long enough not to be the first man eliminated. So at least he has that. Once again, all men, all 6 men now, fighting outside the ring. Here Ramirez and Orochi having the same idea, roll their respective opponents back in. And Orochi decides he wants something else. Puts Extremo outside. Last ride style powerbomb by Hiro Ramirez onto Classico. Now I mentioned earlier, Classico had a rivalry with Hiro's father, Alberto Ramirez Jr. Super kick. He falls into the cover. Is it enough? 1, 2, no. Hiro kicks out strong. Perhaps if Classico had the energy to go for a more traditional pin, that would have been it. But as of right now, Hiro Ramirez battling his way back to his feet, hits a sling blade. People call him the Mexican Tanahashi for a reason. Extremo rolls Orochi back into the ring, then gets rolled back into the ring himself by Hiro Ramirez. Tiburon currently dealing with Tempestad. Just anybody that can swim in stormy waters, it's that man, right? Big tilt-a-whirl head scissors. Hiro Ramirez gets Tempestad into a vertical suplex, a snap suplex. Very impressive. The middleweight onto the heavyweight. It's 3 weight classes of difference. Doesn't seem to slow him down much. Head scissor DDT. Have to see, is it enough? He goes for the cover. Onto Classico. 1, 2. No, doesn't quite get it. And a running knee by Ultimo Extremo. That might have busted him open under the mask. It's hard to tell. Here Ramirez looking for something somewhat grande. Gets him up on his shoulders. Detonation kick. Can he get the pin? He goes for it.
A competitor has been
Here, Ramirez eliminates Ultimo Extremo. Currently, in the ring are Rochi, Classico, Ramirez, and Tiburon just rolled out. Classico clash! Is that enough? 1, 2, 3. The middleweight champion of the world has been eliminated. Ladies and gentlemen. We're down to Classico, La Tempestad, Rochi. And on the floor recovering is Tiburon Negri. Now, currently, every man in this match, besides La Tempestad, has an elimination. Got to think that might affect the ego of the big Storm man. Flips Orochi inside out and hits him with that big right hand. Not sure what he was going for there. Classico interrupts. Smart move there by Classico. Attacking the legs of the big men. Attacking the support. Deep waters once again. And a 2 count by Orochi. Super kick. He falls back into it. Is it enough? No. The shark survives. The shark keeps moving, keeps swimming. I love shark puns, and I'm going to keep making them as long as that man wrestles for this company. DDT. Fireman's carry takeover. Onto Orochi. Up and over. That's Salida del Sol. Now, targeting. Classico. Backfires. Classico back into the ring now. Now Tempestad rolls back into the ring. Interrupts Tiburon, hits him with the thunder rolls. Which, when you say that without lightning strikes. No, doesn't get it. Does not get it. Rochi with that kip up and Inseguri. Classico rolling out of the ring to recover. He's got him up. Oh, reversed into a face buster. Man, not falling for your athletic whims. Deadlift powerbomb. Only to turn around into a drop kick by Tiburon. Rochi now kicking off Tiburon. Goes for a super kick onto Tempestad. Doesn't get it. Misses. Instead settles for the float over DDT. Round kick to the small of the back. Puts him into the corner. And another tilt-a-whirl DDT, this time from the corner. Really focusing on the head of the giant. To my knowledge, Classico and Tiburon, both cruiserweights. Classico might actually be a super middleweight, but I'm pretty sure he's a cruiserweight. And currently, our heavyweight is about to get something big from the top rope. And there it is. A Classico frog splash onto Tempestad. Is it enough? And it is. It is. We are now a 3-man match. Good God! What a leaping clothesline by Tiburon onto Classico. him into the corner. These two men battling it out for the right to the DDP's theme song. Classical Clash. Isn't enough. He goes for the cover. No. Tiburon fights and feeds another day. Classico now throwing Orochi to the outside. Orochi, our guest from Wildfire Pro Wrestling, really doing well for himself here. Despite him currently eating a lot of offense, making it to the bare minimum of 3rd place is impressive for any man not currently on the roster. Orochi throws Classico into the ring. Goes to the top rope. And opts out as Tiburon enters the ring. So, lifting DDT. Is that enough to finally put away Tiburon? Tiburon's taking a lot of damage, and he kicks out one more time at the very least. Maybe it's the fin on his head. He basically can't die. And for good measure, Orochi hits Classico with the exact same move. Goes for a pin again. And doesn't... Not sure exactly how much success he was expecting from that. Scissors, elbows. He's got that arm trap, wrist lock, arm bar combo. Just a bunch of different stuff working on that one. Dragon Screw by Classico. Gets up right into Tiburon's face. Thrown with a pump handle. Gutbuster. Pump handle Gutbuster. Tiburon now. Deep Waters. I'm not sure what that move's actually called, but Deep Waters sounds cool. And he puts away Classico with it. Man's put away a Lucha legend. And the owner of the goddamn company. Tiburon's in a good place right now. I see it goes after Orochi. Cracks him hard on the apron there. The hardest part of the ring. Busting him open. Discus, lariat, a clean shot. Excuse the extreme error. Does not get the pin though. What is it going to take? Both these men have eaten so much punishment throughout this match. Deep Waters. And still no. Orochi cannot die. Orochi will not die. Pump handle, we saw him hit this on Classico. Gutbuster. No, almost got him up for a lifting DDT there. And now it's Orochi with a lifting DDT of his own. Drops him straight on that fin. We'll see if it's finally enough to put away the bigger man. 1, 2, and 3. Orochi is the winner of Super Pro 5's Aztec Royale. Say that's Salida del Sol. That last ride, honestly, it's amazing that Classico even survived that, much less surviving so much further into the match.
Here is your winner, Orochi.
And no matter what you say about Orochi, you cannot say That man doesn't look like he's been in a fight, because he looks like he's been in the fight of his life. Not a bad way for your first day in Mexico to end. And we move on to a welterweight ranked contest between S.A.M and Selena Adams. Now, I'm imagining you all know Selena Adams from CWL, where she is the current sitting Vindication Women's Champion. And we will have to see if she can turn those winning ways into victories here below the border in Mexico. And up comes S.A.M. S.A.M, of course, lost in a contest to Faye Dillon, who was going to be the #1 contender until injury struck. Selena Adams similarly lost to Yamashita de la Luz, who not only became contender for the Women's Welterweight Championship, the only Welterweight Championship, went on to win the whole thing and is our inaugural Welterweight Champion. So, in some ways, this is another battle for third place. And we will have to see how that goes. Selena Adams makes her entrance. Selena Adams.
And her opponent, from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Selena Adams.
As I was saying, Selena Adams currently prides herself on being an independent talent, of taking the anywhere, any place, anytime, anyone, taking that to new levels. And she continues to expand her reach across several different continents and wrestling promotion. As always, non-championship ranked matches are 15 minutes. And we have yet to have one go that distance, as super pro athletes do not like to leave it in the hands of the judges. With good reason, because we don't have judges. If it went to the time limit, it would just be a draw. Selena immediately going for that armbar. Commonly thought that when you grab the ankle like that, that it's part of a leg lock. It's not. Grabbing the ankle, and you see S.A.M displays it, showing exactly why, because controlling that leg would prevent your opponent from spinning out, which S.A.M, upon freeing her leg, just did. Smooth move. And a dragon screw from Selena Adams. Puts her in the corner. 1, 2, 3. Can she get to 10? And she gets to 10. You'd think someone would just move, but they never do. Selena going for the pin very early. Possibly wants to get this done quick, fast, and in a hurry. She's a very busy woman. Jawbreaker. Oh, looks like she went for a takedown or a spear. Instead, ate a DDT from S.A.M. S.A.M now content to take her time, putting Adams onto the concrete. You notice, since we've moved to the new location, our pads are severely more limited in this location. Fighting on the outside. even less pleasant as Selena Adams gets that massive insecurity. Spinning back elbow. What do you want to call it? Andrade style, Bones Jones style, or Jericho style. Ref currently on a 7 count. I believe we have a 15 count. Might have 20. I keep meaning to check. I never do. Side kick by Selena Adams. Goes off the ropes. Goes for what I imagine would have been a Frankensteiner, maybe? Completely misses. Drop kick right to the center of the back. Doesn't seem to have done much as she kips right up. Hits that spinning back elbow. Kick to the gut. And a round kick right to the side of the face. Didn't put a whole lot of power behind that, but just the thought alone. There's power behind that one. You saw it. As S.A.M did probably 720 or something like that. So plants her. Pick her up again. Now it's S.A.M with the dragon screw. And dropping the old elbow. Attacking the arm. So now with that uppercut. Traps the left arm and he gets that half Boston Crab. Turn her into a scorpion. S.A.M again manages to roll out with a free leg. Sunset flip. Does not go for the cover off of it. Instead, wants to hit a standing backflip first, and we'll see if that costs her. And it does. You all ready to flip. Why do you need to do another one? What Mom always said. Pulling back now. More of those elbows. Put into the corner. Slips out. A round kick to the side of the head. A good measure. S.A.M now hitting that chop. And a front carry. Uranagi, looks like. Looking for something big out of the corner. And whiffs it. We'll have to see if that comes back to hurt her later. And it looks like it does. Went for the Irish whip, gets countered. Selena Adams hits it again. Holds that pin. And that's it. Selena Adams gets her first win in Super Pro Championship Wrestling here at Super Pro 5 in Arena Mexico. While S.A.M did find opportunities to inflict offense, this did seem like it was Selena Adams' match to lose. And with that, she did not cede control for any gratuitous amount of time. Always managed to wrest back momentum from her opponent. Of course, that's probably the biggest mistake she made in the whole match, was not pinning S.A.M right off of that sunset flip instead of opting for the showboating.
Here is your
Which, I mean,
winner,
hey,
Selena Adams.
you've been world champion all over the world. You're kind of the big deal. Have some fun in there. Why not? And we move on to a super middleweight ranked match between SICARIO and Isaac. SICARIO, of course, capturing a win a few shows ago against Dr. Wrestling Jr. And Isaac, a NIEW import, coming in to make his debut here tonight.
Making his way to the ring from San Jose, California, weighing in at 217 pounds, the assassin, Alex Perez.
SICARIO, of course, a big believer in presentation and atmosphere, in showmanship and intimidation, taking his time on the way down to that. He used to carry a baseball bat to all of his matches, believe it or not. That meditative stance in the center of the ring, similar to what we saw Latin Stat take earlier. Something to be said about being beholden to a darkness. Now, I would tell you now, I know absolutely nothing about this man, but he has been here since the beginning.
From Canada, weighing in at 206 pounds, Isaac.
It's been here from very on in the second iteration of Super Pro's history. Has been waiting patiently for this opportunity to showcase his skill. And he gets it on the biggest stage we have had so far here in Mexico City. We will have to see if he can defeat SICARIO. SICARIO, of course, not a local boy, hailing from California, but definitely being adopted by the fans here in comparison to New Brunswick's own Isaac. "15 minutes on the clock." Saw SICARIO go for a kick straight off the bat there. Possibly playing right into Isaac's plans as he hits that leg pick. And again, attacking that left ankle there with a toe hold. Probably knows he's not going to get the tap right away. Lets it go. And now changing it up, going for the head. You make him think low and then you go high. You make him think high and then you go low. The opening moments of this matchup, Isaac has demonstrated an understanding of that tactic. Again, going for the head. Retaining wrist control both to steady his target, to keep him from blocking. Now it's SICARIO picking the ankle of Isaac to get the advantage. And now it's SICARIO going for the head of Isaac to get the damage. Round kick to the chest. Isaac bails to the outside. A little bit of brawling, perhaps. Cracks his head on the apron. You just saw the kind of damage that could do to Orochi in the Aztec Royale. Split him open like a watermelon. Isaac now fighting out of the clutches of Sicario. Sicario starts moving you around outside the ring. He doesn't want anything good, I can tell you that much. Ref is on a 6 count.
7.
Runs him into the apron.
8.
And here they are exchanging chops. Isaac maybe going for a power bomb, or a power slam rather. Eats an inverted DDT to the floor instead. Not even sure if that landed on the mat. Vot takeover. Now a side headlock. High up on that side control. Possible to get sweeps from this position. But it looks like he has it in control, and there it is. It's that sweep and side headlock of his own. Ooh. And from exchanging holds to just a shot to the mouth. Just keep it simple and keep it mean. Sicario going for that drop kick to the head. Again, gets his leg swept out from under him by Isaac. I believe that was the opposite leg that time. But he returns to attacking the left leg with that kneeling toe hold. Gets him up. Drop to the knee again. Again, that left leg eating a lot of damage. Super kick. Spins him around with that one. It's enough to get the... No, not enough to get the cover. Isaac again illustrating that tactic of leg. Big attack to the head. Every time Sicario thinks he knows what's coming, he gets hit from the complete opposite angle. Not sure what was... Maybe looking for another leg pick. Was Isaac. Slides complete right by Sicario. Doesn't seem to slow him down much as he hits that jawbreaker. Hits him up in the fireman's carry. Fireman's carry face buster. And that's enough. That's enough for the victory. As Isaac puts away Sicario in dramatic fashion with just a tactical dismantling of the CWL veteran. Impressive discipline here by Isaac, more than anything else. Consistently mixing up his attack, which is a bit of an oxymoron.
Here is your winner, Isaac!
But here he stands victorious. And if the crowd didn't know who Isaac was before he walked in, he definitely knows. They definitely know who he is as he walks out. And we transition to our first proper grudge match of the evening as Escorpion MURADO, Escorpion MURADO, I believe that's with a U, there's a typo there, takes on Jose Fernandez in a middleweight ranked match.
Making his way to the ring from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, weighing in at 200 pounds, El Jefe Jose Fernandez.
Of course, Fernandez, who will remember, competed in the inaugural middleweight championship match against Hiro Ramirez and lost to that belt. Returns to tag action with RAMELLE DIAZ, who we will see in action later tonight, only to be pinned by the major underdog here, Escorpion MURADO. they meet here in singles competition. And we will have to see if MURADO can keep up. Now, MURADO, of course, benefited greatly in that match by the presence of Lobo Dorado, his tag team partner. He will not have that benefit here. He will not have anybody coming in to break up the pin.
And his opponent, from Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing in at 175 pounds, Scorpion Morocco.
See, she made the mistake too. It's MURADO. MURADO, of course, never daunted by pressure, never daunted by the quality of his opponent. A well-tenured former Wildfire Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champion. Currently, him and Lobo Dorado have made their way back home to Mexico, and he is hoping here in his first ranked match back put a major impression in the minds of the Super Pro audience with a victory over the former middleweight contender, Jose Fernandez, El Jefe. You immediately see a size difference here. It amounts to about 25 pounds. As Jose Fernandez puts MURADO back into his own corner. And again, MURADO a little bit thicker than Fernandez, but Fernandez using that leverage to his advantage. While MURADO now puts him in a side headlock. Bounced off the ropes. Drop down, and both men kind of checking each other. And now it's MURADO pushing Fernandez into the corner. Coming in late with the strength. And again, we get a relatively peaceful breakup. But that doesn't last long. As Fernandez lays in the strikes onto MURADO. You got to imagine. I mean, when was the last time Jose Fernandez was pinned 2 times in a row? And by Hiro Ramirez, and then by Scorpion MURADO. Push down MURADO. Dragon twist onto that. At least getting the leg hitting that concrete floor. So, leg trap. Fisherman suplex. Of course, very similar to MURADO's signature finish, the Fisherman driver. Perhaps a message being sought for sender. I don't know. Dropkick to the knees. Jose Fernandez literally cutting off Scorpion MURADO before he can get any momentum. Throws him back to the outside again. Gains control. MURADO fighting out of it. Fernandez. Cutter. Indie cutter onto the floor. Now gets him up into a fireman's carry. Fernandez is out. Goes back into the ring. It seems that any time Fernandez feels that he may lose the advantage, he changes the state of play. Whether that be going back into the ring or throwing MURADO out of the ring. But now puts him into the turnbuckle and then a power slam right onto the middle of the ring. Goes for that cover. 1 and only a 1 count. We'll take more than that. Whoa, and some taunting. Little tranquillo action. And suffers for his troubles. MURADO begins to lay in these strikes. Fernandez is back. Fernandez goes for another low drop kick. MURADO is wised up to it. Hits that ankle kick. And a leg breaker. course, we saw Isaac have great success attacking the leg. Now, MURADO also prone to using the Scorpion Deathlock, which, while not targeting the legs, it's actually a lower back maneuver. Weakening the legs before applying it can lower the defenses of your opponent quite a bit. As it puts him into the turnbuckle. You have to wonder, is Fernandez starting to remember the grand injustice that was his loss by MURADO's hands just at Super Pro 4. Gets that cover. Only a 1 count. Gets him up. Not sure what he was going for. Might have even gone for... That's why you need the leg hook on that fisherman. It prevents the back take off of the vertical suplex setup. Now we have that STF. Is it going to be enough? MURADO begins fighting out of it. Attacking the grip and then attacking the face. And it sends him into Fernandez's own corner. Pulls him off the ropes. Discus. Forearm. Is that enough? 1, 2, 3. Jose Fernandez walks away with his first ranked match victory here in Super Pro Championship Wrestling.
Here is your winner, El Jefe Jose Fernandez.
No replays. Strangely. Not sure what that's about. And here we go. This is unofficially the Heavyweight Grand Prix third place match as TAURUS FIRE comes up against Billy HACKSAW. Now, TAURUS FIRE has the distinct disadvantage going into this match, having just lost to Yamashita at Super Pro 4. He's actually lost twice in this tournament. Could he suffer a third defeat at heavyweight? We will have to see.
To the ring, from San Luis Potosí, Mexico, weighing in at 265
Now, whatever
pounds,
disadvantage
the
TAURUS FIRE might
superstar.
have in conditioning or in momentum, that may very well be nullified by the power damage that he brings in against, frankly, any man on the roster. Billy HACKSAW is a big, strong guy. Over 300 pounds, like 6'1", 6'2". And TAURUS FIRE, as you will see in a moment, completely dwarfs him. A pure genetic and environmental freak. Billy HACKSAW
No place in particular,
coming out
weighing
on a
in
mission.
At 303 pounds,
Little pageantry,
the devil,
just
Billy
that one up,
HACKSAW.
throw him up. Because he knows this is a fight, and he's not going to waste any time on his way to this match with TAURUS FIRE. HACKSAW, of course, pulling a victory out against Jason McKay, before succumbing to Michael Young in the semifinals. TAURUS FIRE right out the gate with a leaping knee. Knows exactly how desperate and dire the situation is for him. Strong DDT. Cutting out the legs of the big man first. A wise strategy from Billy HACKSAW. Make him your size. Bring him down. Make him small. Tripping, choking STF, or STO rather. Flatliner, etc. TAURUS FIRE looking for some offense on the ground there. Gets denied. And a bull dog onto TAURUS FIRE. Now gator roll, seeping that energy in that gas tank from TAURUS FIRE. And goes for a cover. Thinks possibly that's enough. Notice his hand was covering TAURUS FIRE's mouth there. That will further hinder his ability to breathe. Not only in the moment, but anytime you're struggling to breathe, you're going to start draining the gas tank. And I think that's part of HACKSAW's energies, to make him work for his breath. But not quite working at the moment, as TAURUS FIRE has been dissecting him. I spoke too soon. Lariat by Billy HACKSAW. Comes in looking for some dynamic offense, gets denied by a surprisingly agile counter by TAURUS FIRE. Picking the big man up and put him in the Tree of Woe position. Contemplate this on the Tree of Woe. Again, going for that neck, that face, interrupting the breathing of TAURUS FIRE. TAURUS FIRE again. Coming back. An inverted DDT this time. Doesn't get shit for a count. Billy HACKSAW kicks out strong. Eats more punishment though. Whoa! Big move by Billy HACKSAW, countering out of what I assume was a pile driver and or power bomb attempt. That apron seeing a lot of action here tonight. TAURUS FIRE laying on some punishment here on the outside of the ring. HACKSAW pushes him off. Burst of energy does not last too terribly long. TAURUS FIRE regains control. Throws him back into the ring. Very rare you see a man like HACKSAW get physically dominated like that. Clubbing blows. HACKSAW again fighting out. Again getting put back into his place as a monstrous chop by TAURUS FIRE. Now Snake Eyes. And an even more monstrous chop to Billy HACKSAW. Sends him reeling out of the ring. TAURUS FIRE has been on it tonight. HACKSAW gets a chair. Looking to disqualify himself. Drops it. TAURUS FIRE makes him drop it. Puts into the corner. And HACKSAW may wish he never did that, because now he's made the big man angry. Comes off the ropes, and a pounce. Overshoots the chair, flies right over it. The ref getting rid of the foreign object now. Good call, ref. But TAURUS FIRE going for the cover. Buys an extra half second for HACKSAW, but HACKSAW is out as TAURUS FIRE gets that 3 and another victory in the heavyweight division for the man, for the bull, for TAURUS FIRE. HACKSAW tried desperately to cut the legs out from under TAURUS FIRE, to cut the momentum out from under TAURUS FIRE, to cut the gas tank of TAURUS FIRE, and it just didn't take. It's too strong, too powerful, too mean. Nothing you can do. Sometimes you just get stuck on the railroad tracks and the train just keeps coming.
Here is your winner,
And that's just the way life goes.
superstar.
Sometimes the inevitable is inevitable. Go to Paul. Next match as Alex Graves takes on RAMELLE DIAZ for the Super Pro Super Middleweight Championship. Looks like RAMELLE DIAZ will be making his entrance first.
Making his way to the ring from Gomez Palacio, Durango, Mexico, weighing in at 215 pounds, the Prince, RAMELLE DIAZ.
RAMELLE, of course, the other half of La Cosa Nostra, coming out on his own tonight, looking for singles success and singles gold. Knows he had a 0-0 record. Thankfully, this is the last night I will have to say it, but all champions in the former iteration of Super Pro were guaranteed shots for these inaugural championships, and that included the tag champs at the time, RAMELLE DIAZ and Jose Fernandez. And if RAMELLE DIAZ cannot win tonight, you've got to think those guys are the most salty about not having those tag team championships around anymore. Here we have Alex Graves, a veteran
his
in
opponent,
multiple
from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania,
promotions.
weighing in at 220 pounds, Alex Graves.
Most notably in CWL, a part of Supremacy Cup. In fact, 3 men on tonight's show, if I remember correctly, are in that tournament. Michael Young, of course, recently became 1-2. Pistolero is undefeated, and unfortunately, Alex Graves has not gotten a victory at this moment in that tournament. So you've got to imagine that might be weighing down on his conscience. Not necessarily his conscience, on his confidence, rather. I mean, just the schedule that the Supremacy Cup puts on the CWL competitors, you've got to wonder if that's going to have an effect going into their matches here tonight. There it is, the Super Pro Super Middleweight Championship. And this match is off, 25-minute time limit. I doubt we'll need it, as these two are a couple of murderers, a couple of killers. RAMELLE DIAZ having that height advantage, and again, I mentioned it in Fernandez's match, gives you a leverage advantage in those lockups. Easier to push down than it is to push up. But now Graves showing he's no pushover himself. As he and Graves with the cheap shot on Ramel Diaz there on the break. So much for sportsmanship here in Super Pro Championship Wrestling in Arena, Mexico. In Mexico City, Mexico. It's a lot of Mexico. There's, of course, hailing from Philly. You know, Philadelphia boys. They've always got a puncher's chance, whether it be Joe Frazier or Rocky Balboa or Santa Claus from that one Philadelphia Eagles game. Always got a puncher's chance. Doesn't necessarily mean they'll always get it, though. Here's, of course, that double leg takedown. It's into side control, lands some hammer fists, gets kicked off. Mel Diaz staying down, though. And Graves, almost a form of standing knee bar here. Hyperextending the knee joint and stretching out the groin. Hit. Doesn't seem to have that much of a negative effect, though, as Diaz hits that Hurricane Rana right off the bat. Both these men are well conditioned. Don't expect either one to be made immobile by the other. Brainbuster there by Ramel Diaz. And looks like Graves was having none of it. Kick to the back. Big chop to the chest. Spinning side kick. Graves sets out of it. And there's that puncher's chance as he lays out Ramel Diaz with that right hand. Now again, we see that isolated toe hold that Isaac put to great use against Sicario earlier in the match. X-Plex. I believe the open Graves goes for the pin. Kick out by Diaz. Graves now going for that whale hunt. See if he puts away Ramel Diaz. And no, Diaz fights out of it. Still coming on strong. Will La Cosa Nostra manage to go 2-0 tonight? We will have to see. Super kick! And a straightjacket German suplex. Graves right back up to his feet again with that double leg takedown. Taking it back to the spot where he felt he had the advantage. Gets kicked off again. He's getting a little too erratic with those hammer fists. Uppercut by Ramel Diaz. Pair of clotheslines. Super kick. Going up to the top rope. Frog splash. Sends him reeling. 1, 2, and no, Graves kicks out. Fast-paced, high-octane offense here for the Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Pulls him up. Forearm phenomenal. Lays Alex Graves out. 1, 2, 3. Ramel Diaz walks away as your new Super Pro, Super Middleweight Championship holder. New champion of the world. And you've got to think that means a lot to La Cosa Nostra, coming off Jose Fernandez's loss to Hero Ramirez 3 months ago. Now Ramel Diaz has taken that championship belt home with him. And we see both men exchanging heavy, big shots and big moves right from the get-go of this one. Only about a 5-minute match, but probably put about 20 minutes worth of moves into it. And I honestly, I thought it was over with that frog splash, but not quite enough. But undeterred, as RAMELLE DIAZ, as he hit, pulled out the big guns, the phenomenal forearm phenomenal, etc. And now,
Here is your winner and new Super Middleweight Champion, the PRIX, RAMELLE DIAZ.
now, the Cosa Nostra. Well respected here in Mexico City by the Super Pro fans. As they should be. Nobody's more dastardly, but nobody works harder. But moving on. A special guest appearance tonight by Alberto Ramirez Jr. as he is here to present the heavyweight championship of the world that will be contested for in the main event of tonight's broadcast. Now, for those of you who do not know, Alberto Ramirez Jr. founded the original form of Super Pro and became the original Super Pro World Champion, a lineage that this belt shares. And this is a big moment. Alberto Ramirez, ARJ for short, the father of Hero Ramirez, our current Super Pro middleweight champion. And you can see that the Ramirez men age like fine wine, looking crisp in that white suit it is. And you gotta think it's surreal to be back in a Super Pro ring, holding a Super Pro World Championship for the veteran. As he hands the title off to the ref, and the ref shows it off for the audience. They go, wait, what was that? What? Wait a minute, I think wait, do we know these guys? Are these the guys? Alberto Ramirez Jr. not super kick, not threatened by a couple of ninjas. He's still got it. The old man comes out, detonation kick incoming. You do not fuck with ARJ in Super Pro Championship Wrestling. You don't. Ah, Jesus. Who is that? Do we know who that is? Jeez. Somebody's got to put a stop to this, right? I mean, there. Finally, some sanity is here. Ramirez comes to save his father, but no, he's cut off by what I can only assume is Frankenstein's monster. What the shit? Oh my. Ramirez, who I remind you was in a match earlier tonight, just completely overwhelmed by this blindsided surprise attack. Jesus Christ. Is there blood on his hands? Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I'm getting word now that the ref did escape with the belt, so our main event is still on for tonight. We will have to we'll go to the video package for the main event now, and hopefully by the time you're on, we will have some medical staff escort the Ramirez's out of here, and we'll restore power. Thank you.
Not every legend is a myth. Some are flesh and blood. Some legends walk among us, but they aren't born, they are built. Legends are made from iron and sweat, mind and muscle, blood and vision,
And the pain maker.
victory. Legends are champions. They grow. They win. They conquer. There's a legend behind every legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are ready for our main event this evening. Before we start, I want to say that we've gotten word that the Ramirez's are currently in good health. Their injuries will be fine within a couple days. But let's get going with the biggest fight in Super Pro's history. At least it's reiterations, rather. And the first one out is the Japanese import of all Japanese imports. It's Yamashita. And young boy no longer as he comes out decked to the gills. You get a shot at a world heavyweight championship. You get to pull out all the stops. And he is ready here tonight to make history.
Making his way to the ring from Owina, Japan, weighing in at 251 pounds, Yamashita.
Yamashita, a big, bad man from Japan. Weighing in, honestly, 251. That is the lower, almost the lower limit. The lower limit of the heavyweight division, of course, being 250. Both these guys, somewhat undersized heavyweights. And perhaps that was an advantage in this tournament format. Perhaps having a little bit more of a gas tank, having a little bit more durability, helped get them to this main event spot here tonight. Yamashita, of course, the rookie, still relatively inexperienced, and he will have to face the biggest challenge of his career. And that is Michael Bloody Young.
And his opponent from Melbourne, Australia, weighing in at 253 pounds, Michael Young.
Now, Michael Young fought the first 2 rounds of this tournament under the assumed name of Miguel Hogan, which not exactly the most creative of naming choices, but Young seemed to believe that he needed a different outlook to be successful here in Super Pro, and tonight he has chosen to fight as himself because this is a big enough stage to forgo aliases, to forgo experiments, to forgo temporary masks. Michael Young will fight this fight against Yamashita as Michael Young because this is for the goddamn heavyweight championship of the world. This is for the title of baddest man on the planet. There she is, the Super Pro heavyweight title. All right, here they go, 25 minutes on the clock. They tie up, Yamashita pushing the more experienced Michael Young up to the ropes. A clean break. Again, should be noted, Michael Young, the 3rd competitor tonight who is currently competing in the Supremacy Cup. Gets hit with that headlock side takeover. Michael Young holds a 1-2 record in that cup. Losing to Pistolero, in fact, in one of those matches. right now. Both men exchanging advantage in the clinch game. And tie up again. And again, Michael Young returns to that side headlock. Pushed onto the ropes. And a big clothesline and a kip up by Yamashita. Yamashita, maybe not just a stylistic change for the sake of style. I think forgoing his traditional young boy attire. Ooh, gut wrench powerbomb. And a one count kick out by Michael Young. As I was saying, ditching the traditional young boy attire may be a reflection of Yamashita's confidence going into this match. Ironically, both these men defeated TAURUS FIRE on their path here due to an injury. TAURUS FIRE was re-allowed into the tournament on the opposite bracket as an alternate, and encountered both men, losing to Michael Young the first time and losing to Yamashita the second time. And Michael Young now taking a lot of offense to Yamashita, who started out strong, but Michael Young's impeccable ability to take a beating seems to be paying off. Inverted planting DDT. Ooh. I guess it's a pain knee, a knee maker, etc. Pain trigger, whichever you want to call it, a variation, very similar to, of course, Okada's Rainmaker, very similar to the Lightning Strikes, and very similar to the Painmaker, which is Michael Young's finish. Preferred finishing maneuver. Because they're rebounding Yamashita off that top rope. And we've seen it's become somewhat of a signature of his. The deadlift, clean and press, military press, slam. Putting Yamashita down. And that's a lot of weight to come crashing down from what I imagine's got to be close to 7 feet, if not 7 feet. And then implanting DDT. Is it enough? Are we going home early? The ref is losing his mind. And maybe, just maybe, that gave Yamashita enough time to kick out because the ref had whatever kind of mental breakdown he just had. Now again, with that ripcord knee strike. Michael Young putting a pace on young boy Yamashita here. Or correction, no longer a young boy, but Michael Young seems to be not too keen on allowing this to be a proper graduation ceremony for Yamashita. Yamashita's hitting that big palm strike. It's a kick to the gut for his troubles. Walked into the backstage area, ran into the barricade, slams his head off of it. You know, that's a steel barricade. That's like maybe a half-inch of cloth covering it, if that. Both men battling out here. It would be a shame if somehow the biggest main event in reborn Super Pros history was a no contest or a draw. That would kind of be the worst. Oh, Michael Young bouncing Yamashita's head like a basketball off the ring steps. I believe Yamashita might be cut open right now. Just for the cover. No, 2 count. Yeah, Yamashita's definitely cut open. It's a good thing there's crimson accents on that ring mat, because otherwise be some out of place red. And another knee to the face, as if the poor boy hasn't suffered enough. He eats another one. Michael Young now lining up, goes for the punt, misses. Puts him up for a powerbomb into the backbreaker. Powerbomb backstabber. 1, 2. No. Yamashita coming in strong with that. Doesn't quite hit it. Lariat. Lariat. Can he hit another one? Jumping lariat. Tour of the Japanese islands. Yamashita goes in for a cover. Yep. Michael Young just kicking out. You see now that Yamashita coming on strong with the offense here. Oh, went for possibly another one of those powerbomb backstabbers rather. Michael Young denies him, bringing it back to the Technico style. Working the arm, possibly trying to take some of the power off the Yamashita's strikes. Yamashita rolls out of it. Irish whip. Drop kick from the corner, right into a cover. And if that does not show you the damage that these two men have done to each other, that a simple drop kick almost landed the pin, I don't know what to tell you. She gets that straight jacket grip, pulling in. And now it is possible to choke someone out with this. Not very likely, but it is possible. But what you're doing mostly is putting pressure onto that back, using your knee as a fulcrum point. It's very nasty business. If it weren't for all those tattoos, you'd probably see a massive welt on him right now. Full Nelson slam. Attacking the arm. Both men having same ideas about limiting the offense possible from those arms. Yamashita, of course, needing the arm for his big power moves, and Young needing the arm for that haymaker of his. Throws him to the outside. What is Michael Young looking for here? Something like that. Oh my God! Powerbomb to the apron. I'm surprised Yamashita even stood up with assistance, frankly. I thought... Ooh. Slammed the already bleeding face of Yamashita into the apron. Yamashita, though, fighting out of it. Front headlock, uppercut, and slamming Michael Young's face off of that ring post. He's got him up in the power slam position. And hits a snake eyes onto the apron. Anything you can do, I can do better. Young miraculously not bleeding yet. Perhaps a source of frustration for Yamashita. He now makes his way back into the ring. Another big tour of the islands. 1, 2. And that is enough. After the assault on the outside of the ring in the tour of the islands, Yamashita is your new World Heavyweight Champion. A true coronation. From trainee.
Here is your winner and
From young boy.
Super Pro Heavyweight Champion.
So you heard it say it, the Super Pro Heavyweight Champion of the world. A lineage that stretches back over 2 decades, all the way back to Alberto Ramirez Jr. And we will have updates on the Ramirez's after the show. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.